Hello and welcome. We are here at Ampac Business Capital to cover your PPP loan forgiveness. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope that this serves as a positive and insightful guide for you getting through the PPP loan forgiveness process successfully. My name is Brian Kennedy here at Ampac Business Capital, and I am joined by Ana Rubalcaba, who is one of our vice presidents spearheading this program. She will be walking you through it, and thank you once again for tuning in. Ana, take it away.
Thank you. Welcome to Ampac Business Capital Payroll Protection Program. This is a forgiveness process. So to start off, we will be including a sheet that'll give you the information. So I'll go ahead and go over the overview of the forgiveness process at Ampac. It's really important that you start from the beginning. As soon as your loan funds, start compiling your information. I mean, you could read through these wonderful disclosures, but please be aware that you are technically eligible to apply for SBA forgiveness between 8 and 24 weeks from the date your loan was funded. The eligibility defaults not normally into 24 weeks. If you need to do it sooner, then let us know. We recommend a minimum of 8 weeks or 2.5, because 2.5 weeks is 10 weeks of payroll. But if you choose to do your loan in 8 weeks, just go ahead and work with us. The advantage of working with Ampac is that you can call someone. And I know the big banks out there probably feel really bad because I'm saying this, but all of our customers have always felt very comfortable because they can call a number and they get a live voice. You can contact Ana Rubalcaba, myself, and I'll be handling the forgiveness process. I did it last year. My email's included in this information guide. And know that at Ampac, our software will generate your correct loan forgiveness application. So instead of going to other sources, which we do, by the way, but we have the most current one, and we will generate it because we have all your information, and we'll cover that in another video. So email us should your email address be changed, please, or your contact information. Let us know what's going on with your business. It's important to us, and maybe we can help. A personal conference call will be scheduled for you if you send us an email. And some people say, well, how do I use my funds? Most of our clients are self-employed. So we recommend that you have two accounts, one business and one personal. They can both be personal accounts if you're doing business as with your own name and you don't have a different company name. But if you have a different company name, use that one for the deposit on your funds. Transfer them over to your personal account, cash them or transfer them. Either one will be fine. But be sure to begin your disbursement of your paychecks by dividing your loan proceeds either weekly, a minimum of 8 weeks, or monthly if you want to. Then you pay yourself 2.5 times or three paychecks. We recommend that you do not exceed $8,333 per month, because if you look back when you got your loan, you're going to see that that is the maximum amount per month. Write your check, cash it, deposit into your personal account, and you can always reinvest in whatever you need to do for your business if you want to. This process will enable you to provide copies of the canceled checks or payroll from your business account to your personal account. If you have employees, we need 941s. We state quarterly business or individual employee wage reporting or unemployment insurance taxes are also to be reported to the relevant state. In this case, we only lend in California. And right below that, it shows you what non-business payroll expenses qualify for forgiveness. So there's several of them here, including sanitizer. I know some of you may have it spread out with personal receipts, but please be sure to have those things handy so that you can provide them to us. The resource that we have been using is SBA funding programs, and you could see the Paycheck Protection Program. One of the things that I want to remind you is this is called the Payroll Protection Program. So it protects your payroll. So that is the most important part of your funding that you pay yourself. When are you ready for loan forgiveness? Please contact our office. Let us know that that you need your assistance. We recommend that you reach out to us at least 7 weeks after your funding, and apply with SBA once all your loan proceeds have been used. You do have an eligibility date, which is 8 weeks after your loan funding. So if you funded sooner than that, make sure that your checks are dated at least a month apart. Technically, you do have 24 weeks. And so if you want to spread it out a little bit more, that's fine. Just let us know and we won't change your eligibility date. You can continue to communicate with AMPAC throughout the process. We do have telephone numbers. We work remotely, but we do have extensions at AMPAC, and soon we'll be returning. Please check our website, because in our website, we have some wonderful classes that you could also take. Thank you for attending.
Hello and welcome back to the AMPAC PPP Forgiveness tutorial video program. We will be continuing with the cover sheet for forgiveness. Anna's going to walk you through an informative cover sheet that can give a really clear step-by-step instruction. So if you have questions, as always, reach out. But hopefully this gives you a really good guide of how to go through this forgiveness process. All righty. Thank you for tuning in. Anna, take it away.
Hello. We'll begin with the first part of the Excel spreadsheet. For those of you that are not comfortable with it, I'll go through it slowly so that you can see what I'm doing. In the first page, when you open it up, the cover sheet has instructions. On the tab below, you can look at a tab on the bottom. It says instructions. Please note that the instructions, you don't have to print that, okay? It's just for your own use. The worksheet, I put on number 1. The worksheet has different tabs, okay? So the first worksheet, the worksheet that you're going to be using to submit is the cover sheet, which is right here. And it is, I'll cover it in a moment, but just so you know, you can go backwards. The disbursements, this is a real important part. And I separated it only because a lot of customers will contact us and say, well, how do I write my paycheck? I've never written a paycheck for myself. So if you want to use this as an example, this is for $10,000. And if you do it over 2.5 months, you do 4,000, and the third, say the third paycheck would be 2,000 because it's 10,000. So that all equals 10,000. If you separate it by 8 weeks, you could do $1,250 for the 8 weeks. If you only want to pay yourself 4 times every other week, then you just double up. If you want to do it over 10 weeks, then you do $1,000 a month. And if you want to stretch it out over 24 months, then you pay yourself 24 weeks, I'm sorry, you would stretch it out at $416.67 a week. That gives you an idea of how much you would do that. And you can use this to calculate your amount. Okay, next is a sample payroll checks. We're going to skip the cover sheet because this will give you some ideas. If you choose to write payroll checks just to yourself and you're going to use 100% of that 10,000, this sample is paying myself twice per month. I named it Anna Ampak, my employee, right? That would be me. And you would put the date that you paid yourself, 2/15, the amount, and the check number. Simple. So if you pay yourself 4 times in the 2-month period, I divided it by 8 weeks and came up with $10,000. Okay, the next sample is transfers only. I have clients who are transferring through Zelle or through ACH or through their bank. All we need is proof. So you could either give me a statement or you can give me the Zelle transfer number and a little receipt, whatever it is that you get, so that you can provide the proof if needed. Once again, I paid Anna Ampac on 2/15. I paid $2,500 and I did a Zelle transfer. Instead of the check number, I put Zelle transfer. It's not that complicated. Sample paycheck with additional costs. So here, some examples have been that you can take 60% pay payroll and 40%, and that's the maximum that you could use on other expenses. I remind you again, this is called the Payroll Protection Program. So they want to make sure that you use your money to pay yourself. Okay, if you choose to pay other expenses that are not on this list or the other list that I provided, then go ahead and pay yourself and reinvest in your expenses. And that again is a choice that you need to make and that you need to talk with your accountant so that you make sure you do this right. Here, I paid myself again, Anna Ampac, those three amounts, and because it was 10,000 and I used other funds, it was only, it wasn't the 40%, it was like less than 10% because it's 8.5. Oh, pardon, 8.5%. So the total amount that I used was $850 because I could only use $425 out of my mortgage based on my one little room that I used for my accounting, based on my accountant. And so I went ahead and put those two costs. I put the check numbers and then I put the amount. So at the end, it totals $10,000, but this is only an example so that you can have an idea of how you do this. The most important part of this whole form and this cover sheet is that you organize how you're going to use your money and you do it the right way because you want to be forgiven. This is the most important part of it. Number two, it helps us not have to call you and say, how much? Work with each client because we have many clients. We were really blessed to be able to serve quite a bit. So much more than last year. So we're really excited and we want to make this as easy of a process as it can be. Thank you so much for attending. And if there's any questions that you have, please let me know. Oh, one more thing. If you notice on your cover sheet, I have 1111. Just take that off because if you do, what I did is I made it so that it sums the amount on the bottom. And on this other section as well, the months, you see it automatically deducts it. So you know what it's used for. I just put a 1 just as a placeholder. Thank you again and have a blessed day.
Hello and welcome back to the PPP Forgiveness Program walkthrough. Thank you for joining us. Brian Kennedy coming back at you again. Anna Rubalcaba coming back at you again. We're going to be walking through a mock payroll protection forgiveness application to make sure you get a clear picture of what the full process looks like. Thank you for tuning in. Anna, take it away.
Hello. I am really excited to be able to show this portion of the process because you'll see all the different parts of this application that you've already filled out just because we communicated and we have all the information on the system. So there's no sense in you filling it out unless you really feel like it, then we're okay with that, okay? The application completes your name. It has Anna Ampac. This is just a sample. And we're doing business as the Forgiveness Portal. So that would be your first name, last name, and then if you're doing business as somebody else, or you have a corporate name, or it depends on your structure. Ours already has the information, the way we did your loan. So it'll be perfect. If it's not perfect, let me know, or if it's misspelled. The address, it puts that information, my TIN number, my telephone number where you could reach me. Of course, my extension is 116, by the way. This is our telephone number at Ampac. We're located in Ontario, I'm the primary contact on this, and it has your email address. It's already filled it out. If this is your first draw or your second draw, it'll check the applicable one. It'll give the SBA loan number, and it'll give your lender loan number, which is AMPAC's phone lender number. It'll give your total amount of your loan, the date it was dispersed, and the number of employees that we have. Now, on that other form, I said, if you want to contact me by email, all I need to know is how many employees at the time of forgiveness of the application. So that would be one, because it's still just me. The covered period is the date that we funded and 8 weeks. This is calculated, and the computer will put those dates in there. So you're not able to file before that date. If you notice, this one was funded on May 19th. It's going to be available for eligibility for PPP forgiveness with SBA on November the 2nd. So I can't sign and date it before November the 2nd because I shouldn't have used all my money. The amount of the loan spent on payroll costs. This is why I really, really stress to our clients, instead of using your funds for anything else, this is the only thing that it asks on the application other than how many people work there. It's easier if it's the full amount. I usually request the full amount. However, if you do not use the funds appropriately, AMPAC has the right to turn around and recommend less, or recommend the ineligible cost not to be included. So when you initial this, you're going to look at each section is really important, because you're certifying, the borrower certifies to all that he is initialing or she is initialing below next to each one. So most people say, why is there blanks? And I'm like, no, that's your initials. Just so you know, even though we fill this all out, you are responsible for this. You are responsible for telling us. But because you come to AMPAC, we have the information. I normally just ask you these two questions. How many employees and how much did you spend on payroll? That's why that cover sheet is so important. And to get you into the right frame of mind so that you could get forgiven. The last part of it is the next initial section is that you're certifying that all is true and correct in all the material aspects, and that you understand that you knowingly, if you make a false statement for forgiveness of the SBA, it's punishable by law. Kind of scary, huh? It's not worth it. Pay yourself. And then you can just read through this. And then here's your signature. Many people ask me questions about the signature. It is you, the borrower, or a representative that did this. So if it's a company, you're the representative, whether you be the president, the secretary, or somebody you designated. Date, you print your name and your title. The next page is is important for us. Here I put, I did not disclose. I'm a male. I did not disclose, and I did not disclose. You know, I should have put that I'm Hispanic. I should have put that I'm American Indian and Hispanic. I could put both. I could put that I'm white. I could put that I'm any of these choices. I usually put in 3 or whatever it is that the client puts. And the very top section, we really appreciate it if you'll tell us if you're veteran or non-veteran. We want to make sure that we service all minorities, all walks of life, every color in the rainbow. So please, we just want to make sure that if we have this, that we're serving our community, because our community is very diverse, and we appreciate you completing this. So those are the 2 pages that you're going to submit. Once you finish this and you give me how many people work there, I'll put 1. And then how much did I use for payroll? I'm going to put that I used all of it for payroll, because payroll is completely eligible. When in doubt, pay yourself, then pay whatever else you want to pay. Okay? Thank you so much for attending. I look forward in completing this process. As you can see, this didn't even take us 10 minutes and I explained the whole thing to you. So when I put it in your portal, you're going to see it. You'll get a notification. And then when you sign it and update it, all I want you to do is to change it from sample application to, well, whatever the name of your document is, then change it to signed sample application or signed Anna Ampak. I usually put the customer's name or the business name, and then just change it over to signed Anna Ampak or your title. Thank you so much for listening in. I look forward in doing business and completing this process. I have one more letter that I want to share with you, and that way you'll know what the total end is. Okay, so this is a notice of Paycheck Protection Program forgiveness payment. Once you submit that, it takes between 2 months and sometimes as little as a week when the whole program is already in effect. If there's any questions, they will contact us. But here's a sample letter. This one was the amount of forgiveness that we requested. They did not pay the $1,000. They paid the interest, so they deducted that amount. Even though I requested a bigger amount, they turned around and only paid $10,166. Okay. What happened is the borrower paid back some of the money, and she didn't want to use it for payroll, and she didn't want to use it for other business expenses. So she decided she didn't want to mess with SBA. This is a really great example, as a matter of fact. We lent her $15,120. The amount of forgiveness I requested was the amount with the EIDL, Economic Injury Disaster Loan deduction, which they wanted us to deduct. But I did put it for the full amount, and then they turned around and gave us only $10,166 plus the interest. And the forgiveness payment was on 12/11/2020. We actually approved the loan on February 19th. And this just tells you all the details that you're going to see on your letter. This is the most important part. The borrower must retain all records relating to the borrower's PPP loan amount for 6 years from the date the loan is forgiven or paid. Not the date that you got the loan, but the date you were forgiven. So in our portal, when you give us the information, the good thing about it is that you have an extra, an extra copy, and we get to verify it so that we could help and recommend the full amount to be forgiven. And that's how we assist you. The other thing is that should something happen to your records, we have a cover sheet that tells us how you use the money, and we have the receipts, and we can submit it immediately to SBA. We have had a few audits, and when I say audit, they asked me even for the complete note. So please submit your information so we can assist you, and we look forward in working with you. And thank you so much for attending this session of the tutorial.